Waterhole Waiting, Jane Kurtz and Christopher Kurtz, pictures by Lee Christensen. Today I'm going to read this and share with you my think aloud and model how readers determine importance. This book is based upon animals in the wild and what they do as they are seeking refuge, water, and food. It's particularly important for us to really think about this book in terms of the science learning that we can glean from it, but it's also a beautifully written text that models many beautiful ways to use words. I'm thinking this book is important. It's going to give me more information, or it's going to explain why animals wait at the water hole. This is the opening page. Again, we see the title of the book, the author, and the illustrator is Lee Christensen. This book will probably be very important. I know that I can use the illustrations and the artwork in any piece of literature to help me to determine the author's purpose in writing the book. I'm predicting that Jane and Christopher Kurtz want us to learn more about animals while they are seeking water. This is a beautiful bit of artwork that we see here. Morning slinks into the savanna, and the savanna is a specific area of land. And you can see here that it looks like it's very, very dry, and it could be very, very sunny and very sparse in plants. Morning slinks onto the savanna and licks up the night shadows one by one. I like the use of language in this book. It talks about the morning licking up the night shadows. Crickets stop chirping. Chirping means the sound that crickets make as they rub their legs together. A frog plops softly into the water hole. This author is helping me to understand what is happening with these animals by the words that he and she are using. Chirping, I can hear the sound just by thinking about what I know about crickets, and I also know about frogs. And when that frog plops softly into the water hole, it's going to make a little bit of a noise. The silence pokes Monkey's ear. Another interesting way for the author to help us to make a picture and a visual image about what's happening by the unusual use of verbs. The silence pokes Monkey's ear. He opens his eyes with a thirsty grunt, and grunt might sound like "Grr," and bounces down the tree. Time to jump, time to swing, time for morning foraging. Foraging lets me know that this is a book about wild animals, not domesticated animals. The author is using science words and very specific words to make this a beautiful book as well as a truthful book. So this is an interesting mix of an expository nonfiction book as well as the interesting use of language that we often find in other kinds of literature. And the drawings and the artwork is really just beautiful. Foraging lets me know that this is a book about wild animals. I know that domesticated animals like dogs and cats and pets have to be fed. They don't go out and forage or look for their food. They don't depend on people to feed them. Foraging means that they're looking out for food. Sun cartwheels slowly up the sky, herding hippopotami. Cartwheels is another interesting word, an unusual use of language in an expository or a nonfiction book, but it makes its point. It lets us know that as the sun goes up slowly, the hippopotami are out, and they're out in herds or groups, as you can see in the artist rendering. That's important. The author wants us to know how these animals live as they're waiting at the water hole. The grasslands fill with bird calls, whales, a loud buzzing of insects, and a great swishing of tails. This is a very interesting use of language and very poetic for an expository or a nonfiction book. This is a very engaging book related to animals. It paints pictures in our mind. I'm thinking that the authors have chosen these words because they want us to hear and see and feel the same thing that these animals are hearing, seeing, and feeling. And for that reason, they're using a lot of poetic language like swish, swishing, and buzzing. It really makes us feel like we're there with them. Monkey thinks it's time for a drink. Wait! Mama grabs his paw. And of course, monkeys have paws, not hands. And you can see that this mother is being very careful with her young monkey. Stay away from the hippo's yawning jaws. And I can see why when I look at those teeth. The author wants us to know that these animals have characteristics as they're getting ready in the morning and getting out. And as our title gave us a hint, it's really about waiting until things are at the right time so they can go to the water hole. That pops a question into my mind. I have some background knowledge about that. I think they might have to wait because the smaller animals would wait until the larger animals left. And if the animal is an animal that is preyed upon by other wild animals, they definitely have to wait for a while before they go to the water hole. And here you can see the water hole. And the hippopotami are first there. They're the larger animals. And this monkey is waiting. He is not going to run the risk of having the young ones in the monkey family get into too much trouble with those larger animals. Sun climbs the sky like an acrobat. And an acrobat is a person who turns cartwheels and flips and does interesting things with their body. Sun climbs the sky like an acrobat and dangles at the top. That paints a vivid image in my mind. I think the author is using this poetic language to paint visual images in my mind. The author must really want me to feel like I am there at that water hole. Heat sizzles the savanna, heavy on monkey fur. Sizzles is another interesting use of language, particularly in an expository or a nonfiction book. Monkey stares at the water hole. The hippo trail appears to be clear. Wait! Mama grabs his ear, and you can see this mama's hand going out, making sure that baby doesn't get into trouble. She has a sense of letting us know that things are not right for her baby to be out there alone. And here is another double spread. This book is so beautiful because of the double spreads. Swish, swash, snort, and grunt. The grazers are coming down the path. Look out for those sharp hooves and quick kicks. Grazers are animals that eat grass and plants, and they slowly graze and eat all day. I love the sound of the onomatopoeia, swish, swish, snort, grunt. It really puts us at the scene where those animals, and it looks like these are zebras, and maybe another wild animal here. And they have sharp hooves and quick kicks. Ooh, I think the author wants us to know that things are really happening at that watering hole, and there are lots of different animals that are attracted by the water. That's important for us to know about the watering hole. Splish, splash, zebra wades near the bumpy, lumpy log with hooded eyes. Slush, slurp, slush, wet and cool. Slash, snap, white splash, bone jaw burst from the pool. Zebra is one moment quicker than death. The log sinks back down and waits. Oh my goodness, it's really not a log, but it looks like a log. It must be an alligator. I'm thinking that the artist did a beautiful picture because the snout on an alligator is different than a crocodile. I'm thinking this is an alligator. I'm using my background knowledge and the artwork, which is another way to determine importance when you're reading, if you have access to drawings and sketches. And look at that zebra. Boy, he really got close to that alligator, but he made it away. And here are those monkeys again. That mother monkey is really holding on to the young one. Oh dear, oh my. Let's read on this page and see what's going to happen. Sun bristles bright and round. Monkey's feet nibble the ground. Prance, dance, take a little chance. His feet find their way to the hippo trail. Wait! Mama grabs his tail. The author is really building suspense here. That baby monkey is not being careful. Thank goodness he has a mother to look after him. And look at why he needs to wait. Slip, slap, Lion is paddling down the path, not looking right, not looking left. Beware of Lion, who crouches close and lip laps water between razor teeth. Oh my goodness, that monkey was not being wise. I'm so glad his mother was with him. So the author is helping us to understand through the eyes of the monkeys that the monkeys might be the weakest animals, and they really do have to wait at the water hole because the other animals are much stronger and much bigger than them, and they could become the lunch or the dinner of that lion or that alligator. So the authors really want us to know that this story is really told through the eyes of these monkeys, I think. And that's important. Safety is a huge part, I believe. The author wants us to know that that's a huge part of survival where wild animals go. And here are the monkeys again. Let's see. That baby monkey is mischievous. Keeps going away from the adult monkey. Mama closes tired eyes. Monkey nips a few steps closer, skips and slips a little closer. Rumble, rumble, what's that sound? A grumble like thunder thumps the ground. Wait! Mama grabs his legs. Oh my goodness. Whoa, slow, no, no, no. Back to the trees to munch on seeds. Wow, that was a close call. Those animals look huge and ferocious. The elephants are beautiful, but so big. Thrum, thrum, elephant comes rumbling down the path. Gentle shuffling. Shuffling means slow moving. Tender trunk. Elephant has eyes only for family. Steer clear of heavy feet and reckless splashing. I'm thinking the author wants us to understand when it says elephant has eyes only for family, that the elephant is watching out for the little ones, and the male leader of the herd is really protecting and has eyes only for that family and wants to really protect them. So I'm going to stop here and do a little bit of a think aloud. What I'm learning here is that sometimes books that are written beautifully, like poetry or like a story, really help us to understand the facts and the things that are important about a topic of science or social studies. I think this book is doing a fine job of letting us engage with the book, but learn about the animals at the same time. We can also learn about the interesting use of words and language, because this book is not written in the same way that many expository texts or many nonfiction texts are written about animals. Let's read on. Here is the monkey again. And oh, here comes a hand. Not a hand, it's called a paw. Sun somersaults down the sky. Monkey's throat is parched and aching. Parched might cause you to cough, and it means that your throat is dry. Monkey's fur is almost baking. That lets me know that it's very hot on the savannah. Monkey's toes are ready to go. Wait! Mama grabs his neck. This story is also very suspenseful for an expository text or a nonfiction text. I'm worried about this baby monkey. It makes me worried that he is so quick to make decisions that are not in his best interest. Oh my goodness, let's see. Oh, look who's here next at the watering hole. Oh, this author really has told this story very carefully, because the title of the story was Waiting at the Watering Hole. And now we're really finding out that what this author wants us to know through the title of Waiting at the Watering Hole is that the larger animals get first dibs on the water, and the smaller animals have to wait until it's safe for them to go. Galump, galoop. Giraffe is swaying down the path. Swaying means slow moving from side to side. Time moves slowly around giraffe. Neck bends, legs splay. And when the legs of a giraffe splay, that means they put their front legs that are very tall out really, really far so that the giraffe can bend down very low. Will lips ever go so low that they touch cool water? Splay means to spread out. Oh, here come the monkeys. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid they're really going to get in trouble now because this doesn't look good. But they are coming, it looks like they're walking fast. Evening slinks across the savannah, pulling shadows behind it. The grasses start whispering. That means the air is getting cooler. Sun lands on the horizon and tucks away its lower half. Nobody is moving on the path. Floating in the water, the log watches. Crocodile waits for one careless step. I was wrong earlier. It's not an alligator. It actually is a crocodile. My prediction was incorrect. Monkey's thirsty throat is burning. He starts bouncing, squeaking, squirming. Hurry, scurry up. Monkey scamper down the trail. Quick, no laggers. Lagger means being too slow. No lollygaggers. That means don't wait behind. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my goodness, suspense. Oh, let's see what's going to happen. Take care, beware, beware. Monkeys tumble back, snap. Oh, I can hardly stand to turn the page. I'm afraid the monkeys have been eaten. Oh, well, no, here they come. Looks like all of them are coming in a group. Evening sighs, sun sinks, crocodile ripples away. As crickets start chirping, a frog strikes a drum beat. In the chug-chug, 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 in the still warm air, the monkeys leap, jiggle, chitter, chatter, wiggle, all the way down to the waiting water hole. Boy, this book really told the story in the title. Sometimes you can understand a lot about what's important in a book by really thinking about the title, Waiting at the Water Hole. Boy, that wait was a long, long wait. Now, in nonfiction and expository text, many times the author will explain to us why he or she has written the story. And it says, although this story is fiction, it's possible to learn many things about life on the African savanna from it. Anyone who has sat and watched a water hole for a while, something you may try via cyberspace by visiting a certain web page, they notice that animals seem to take turns. Elephants wander up, buffalo wander off, and so on. During the hot, dry season, when there is less moisture in the grasses and other savanna vegetation, water holes are busier. Sometimes, especially during the dry time, different species will drink at the water hole together. The main characters in our story are vervet monkeys. The mothers spend a lot of time near their young ones. Vervets have special calls to signal danger from predators, and a predator is something that hunts and seeks another animal for food. When most vervets hear the leopard alarm, they run for the trees. And when they hear the eagle alarm, they look up. And when they hear the snake alarm, they stand on their back legs and look around in the grass. They have a less urgent alarm call for animals that could be dangerous but do not hunt them regularly, such as hyenas and lions. They even have a warning call for unfamiliar humans. The water hole in water hole wading has steep sides and a narrow hippo trail leading down to it. So the monkeys wait even when animals that do not prey on monkeys, such as elephants, are drinking. A monkey wouldn't want to share close quarters with a large animal that could accidentally hurt it. Since most water holes have some spot where a monkey could scramble down and drink away from such large animals. Most monkeys don't have to wait until night for a drink. Still, whether you're a thirsty monkey hanging back while a lion drinks, or a person hiding near a water hole hoping to spot a parade of animals, waiting is never easy. And this is just a beautiful book. And I'm really thinking that the author's message here is they want us to learn about all the animals on the savannah, and they want us to understand how life is on the savannah and how smart the animals are and how inventive and creative that these monkeys must be to be so clever and so careful. I hope you've enjoyed this book today, and I hope you'll remember that when you're determining importance, the main things are pay attention to the title, look for the action in the book, watch and listen carefully for words that can help you to understand what's happening, and really, really, really be prepared for surprises in the use of language, because this book was a real surprise to us today. And I think the author wants us to learn some important critical elements about animals on the savannah. And that was his and her purpose. But I also think they wanted us to love the story because of the poetic language that they used to tell the story. They wanted us to get into the story. They wanted us to feel it, hear it, and not only that, but to really enjoy the beautiful art. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed Waterhole Waiting by Jane Kurtz and Christopher Kurtz, and the artwork by Lee Christensen.